Hey guys, now we are at Apple Garage, or mostly known as Steve Jobs' childhood home. Behind me.
Steve Jobs' childhood home is located in Los Altos, California. In a close-by city is the Apple headquarters in Cupertino. The beginnings of Apple. Steve Jobs was born on February 24, 1955 in San Francisco and was raised by adoptive parents in Cupertino, located in what is now known as Silicon Valley. He then dropped out of Reed College in Portland, Oregon, and took a job at Atari Corporation as a video game designer in early 1974. He saved enough money for pilgrimage to India to experience Buddhism. Back in Silicon Valley in autumn, Jobs reconnected with Stephen Wozniak, a former high school friend who was working at the time at Hewlett-Packard Company. When Wozniak told Jobs of his progress in designing his own computer logic board, Jobs suggested that they go into business together after HP turned down Wozniak's design in 1976. The Apple I, as they called the logic board, was built in Jobs' family garage, with money they obtained by selling Jobs' Volkswagen minibus and Wozniak's programmable calculator. Jobs was also the first entrepreneurs to understand that the personal computer would appeal to a broad audience. With his encouragement, Wozniak designed an improved model, the Apple II, complete with a keyboard. Jobs also managed to obtain financing, distribution, and publicity for the company. Apple Computer incorporated in 1977, the same year that Apple II was completed. The machine was an immediate success, becoming synonymous with a boom in personal computers. In 1981, the company had a record-setting public stock offering. And in 1983, it made the quickest entrance at the time into the Fortune 500 list of America's top companies. The company recruited Pepsi Company President John Sculley to be its Chief Executive Officer or CEO, and implicitly, Jobs' mentor in the fine points of running a large corporation. On to the next step. During that same period, Jobs was heading the most important project in the company's history. In 1979, he led a small group of Apple engineers to a technology demonstration at the Xerox company's Palo Alto Research Center, or PARC, to see how the graphical user interface could make computers easier to use and more efficient. Soon afterward, Jobs left the engineering team that was designing Lisa, a business computer, to head a smaller group building a lower-cost computer. Both computers were redesigned to exploit and refine the PARC ideas, but Jobs was explicit in favoring the Macintosh, or Mac, as the new computer became known. He referred to his engineers as artists, but his style was uncompromising. At one point, Jobs demanded a redesign of an internal circuit board simply because he considered it unattractive. In January 1984, Jobs himself introduced the Macintosh in a brilliant demonstration that was the centerpiece of an extraordinary publicity campaign. It would later be pointed as the archetype of event marketing. However, the first Macs were underpowered and expensive, and they had few software applications, all of which resulted in disappointing sales. Apple steadily improved the machine so that it eventually became the company's lifeblood as well as the model for all subsequent computer interfaces. but Jobs' apparent failure to correct the problem quickly led to the tensions in the company. And in 1985, Scully convinced Apple's board of directors to remove the company's famous co-founder. Personal life. In 1989, Jobs first met his future wife Laureen Powell when he gave a lecture at the Stanford Graduate School of Business, where she was a student. Jobs proposed on New Year's Day the following year, and they were married on March 18, 1991 in a Hawani hotel in Yosemite National Park. Jobs and Powell had 3 children, a son named Reed and 2 daughters, Erin and Eve Jobs. Although later a billionaire in life, Jobs made it known that he had stipulated that most of his monetary fortune will not be left to his children. He also limited his children's access age-appropriate to social media, computer games, and the internet. Jobs also had a daughter with Christian Brennan in the 1970s, named Lisa Jobs. The computer project he was working on during the time Apple Lisa was named after her. Next, and Pixar. Jobs quickly started another firm, Next, Incorporated, designing powerful workstation computers for the education market. Although the Next computer was notable for its engineering design, it was eclipsed by less costly computers from competitors such as Sun Microsystems Incorporated. In the early 1990s, Jobs focused the company on its innovative software system, Next Step. Jobs also acquired a controlling interest in Pixar, a computer graphics firm that had been founded as a division of Lucasfilm, the production company of Hollywood movie director George Lucas. Over the following decade, Jobs built Pixar into a major animation studio that, among other achievements, produced the first full-length feature film to be completely computer animated, Toy Story, in 1995. Pixar's public stock offering that year made Jobs, for the first time, a billionaire. He eventually sold the studio to the Disney Company in 2006. Hero of Apple. In late 1996, Apple, saddled by huge financial losses and on the verge of collapse, hired a new chief executive semiconductor executive, Gilbert Amelio. When Amelio learned that the company had failed to develop an acceptable replacement for the Macintosh's aging operating system, he chose Next Step, buying Jobs' company for more than $400 million and bringing Jobs back to Apple as a consultant. But Apple's board of directors soon became disenchanted with Amelio's inability to turn the company's finances around, and in June 1997 requested Apple's prodigal co-founder to lead the company once again. Jobs quickly forged an alliance with Apple's foe, the Microsoft Corporation, and simplified the company's product line. He also engineered an award-winning advertising campaign and urged potential customers to think different and buy Macintosh. Jobs believed that Apple, as the only major personal computer maker with its own operating system, was in a unique position to innovate. In 1998, Jobs introduced the iMac, an egg-shaped one-piece computer that offered high-speed processing at relatively modest price and initiated a trend of high-fashion computers. By the end of the year, the iMac was the nation's highest-selling personal computer, and Jobs was able to announce consistent profits for the company. The following year, he triumphed once more with the stylish iBook, a laptop computer built with students in mind, and the G4, a desktop computer qualified as a supercomputer. Though Apple did not regain the industry dominance it once had, Steve Jobs had saved his company and in the process established himself as a master high-technology marketer and visionary. Rebooting Apple.
So now we're visiting the Apple Visitor Center, which is still located in Cupertino. So let's go check it out.
In 2001, Jobs started reinventing Apple for the 21st century. That year, Apple introduced iTunes, a computer program for playing music and for converting music to the compact MP3 digital format commonly used in computers and other digital devices. Later that same year, Apple began selling the iPod, a portable MP3 player, which quickly became the market leader. 2 years later, Apple began selling downloadable copies of major record company songs in MP3 format over the internet. By 2006, more than 1 billion songs and videos had been sold through Apple's online iTunes store. In recognition of the growing shift in the company's business, Jobs officially changed the name of the company to Apple Incorporated on January 9, 2007. He also took the company into the telecommunications business with the introduction of the touchscreen iPhone, a mobile telephone with capabilities for playing MP3s and videos and accessing the internet. Later that year, Apple introduced the iPod Touch, a portable MP3 and gaming device that included built-in Wi-Fi and an iPhone-like touchscreen. Bolstered by the use of the iTunes Store to sell Apple and third-party software, the iPhone and the iPod Touch soon boasted more games than any other portable gaming system. Near the end. In 2003, Jobs was diagnosed with a rare form of pancreatic cancer, but he put off surgery while he tried alternative medicine approaches. The next year, he underwent a major reconstructive surgery known as the Whipple operation. Following a short recovery, Jobs returned to running Apple. But the average survival rate for patients who underwent Whipple operations was only 20% at 5 years. So throughout 2008, Jobs lost significant weight, which produced considerable speculation that his cancer was back. Perhaps more than those of any other large corporation, Apple's stock market shares were tied to the health of its CEO, which led to demands by investors for full disclosure of his health. On January 9, 2009, Jobs released a statement that he was suffering from a hormonal imbalance for which he was being treated and that he would continue his corporate duties. But less than a week later, he announced that he was taking an immediate leave of absence through the end of June to recover his health, having removed himself at least temporarily from the corporate structure. Jobs stuck with his stance that his health was a private matter and refused to disclose any more details. In June of that year, the Wall Street Journal reported that Jobs had received a liver transplant the previous April. The operation was performed in Tennessee, where the average waiting period for a liver transplant was 48 days, compared to the national average of 306 days. So Jobs came back to work on June 29. But in January 2011, Jobs took another medical leave of absence. In August, he resigned as CEO but became a chairman. And he died 2 months later on October 5, 2011. In 2022, Jobs was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
check out some of their stuff, their phones, laptops, and the 3D version watches, yeah, and the 3D version of their whole campus. Unfortunately, they don't have exhibit about the history of the company and about Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs' legacy lies to his contributions to technology, design, and business that have cemented his place as one of the most influential figures of the modern era. His legacy continues to shape the way we interact with technology and think about innovation.
That's it for our little adventure about Apple and Steve Jobs. Until next time, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Bye.
If you like our videos, please click thumbs up for like.
Hit the bell to subscribe!
Please comment.
And don't forget to share!